Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. Yes, the one that feeds thousands of hummingbirds all year. Well, I'm going to do a few changes around here. I think I'm going to save money doing it too. See the feeders? One's 16 and one is 6. Unfortunately, the $16 feeder is not safe. I'm going to show you a few different instances that happened around here. One I already talked about, which was an Oriole, and another one was a hummingbird. Now, I love these feeders. They're made really well. They're made in the United States, and they last for years. I haven't even had any of them break. But I do alter the big ones. They come in 16 ounces with no ant moat. And then they come in 32 ounces with the ant moat, which is on the top. Now, this one is Walmart's design. Somebody exclusively had this made for Walmart, and this is the one that they sell. It's 32 ounces. It doesn't spill. It comes in 2 pieces to clean on the base, and that is small enough where no bees can get in. So it is bee proof. The problem is some of my hummingbirds won't use it. Not all of them, some of them. And then we feed a lot of Orioles around here. So what I've been doing with mine, and why I'm going to switch some of my feeders, is I go ahead with a soldering iron and I make the holes a little bit larger. Now you can make them larger if you want, or leave them as is if you're only doing hummingbirds. But since we have dozens and dozens of Orioles looking for food all day, I do make them bigger in some of them. In case the bees start to come around, I'll swap them back to the ones that are not altered. But as you can see here, a hot glue gun from the back side going around gently is really easy to do, and you can make it as big or as small as you want. You just make it a little bit bigger, or you can make it a whole lot bigger. If you do it from the back side, it stays nice and smooth on the front side. And if there is any rough parts to it, just take a little knife and clean it up. But that is all you have to do. So for $6, I've got a 32-ounce hummingbird feeder that is going to have an ant moat and be able to accommodate my Orioles here along with my thousands of hummingbirds. And that's what's really nice. The other one is a little over $4, but doesn't have an ant moat. Now you just snap it together and you're done. That's all there is to it. But remember, if you alter it, it is not bee proof anymore. So I have double sets here. $6, I can afford to have a few different types here. Now look how nice that is, and now the Orioles can drink from it too, which you'll see soon. Now this is the one that's been a problem. This is their design, and I have found out there are other designs that are flawed. Now I have taken these feeders, see the difference in the feeders? Now see that this is the one that hasn't been altered at all. These are 2 exact feeders from Walmart. See, I altered the holes, but see the space on the bottom? No bird can get caught up in there. Now look at this one. One is altered and fixed. The other one is not. Do you see that tiny space? Well, I'm going to show you something that I have not talked about. And the reason is we were unaware of what exactly happened. But going back through this footage that's over a year old, we now understand that he did get his leg caught as well. And you'll see it on the camera, top left side. You'll see a hummingbird come in right next to the one that's drinking on the very top. Now watch it. It's a little Rufus. He's coming in to land. He accidentally slides. When he landed, he slid in that corner and got his leg caught. This was devastating. Not just the Oriole we talked about, but the hummingbird. By the time he got his leg uncaught, he now had his wing caught. So he got all tangled up in there because he panicked. But I got him out of there. He was released and he was fine. I had to clean him up a little bit. See that space? If it went all the way to the edge of the perch, it would be fine. But it doesn't. It leaves a very dangerous, slim space there, perfect for an Oriole to get their leg caught, and as you saw, the hummingbird did too. I can show you the Oriole again. You'll see how he landed on there, and when he went to take off, he caught his foot underneath. Remember, there's toes there. In a panic is when they get hung up. If they weren't in a panic, well, then he would just sit there and slide back. But they don't know that. He panicked. You'll see there's no way for him to get out. All he's doing is hanging upside down with his leg. You already know this bird did lose his leg. By the time we found him, which was about 20 minutes later, well, it's just something we've already talked about in the other video. Here you can see him all the way in the back, dangling upside down, just another angle. But that was the problem. Then Gary went out there and he got him, and we did what we had to do, and then we did release him. So what I want you to do is be aware of it. There are other models of hummingbird feeders that have that same flaw. Now, like I showed you in the other video, it is an easy fast fix. All you have to do is clip that side and you'll see with a wire cutters, it's an easy plastic to cut. You can cut off just about an inch and then the feeder is perfectly safe to use. And you'll see, check the other ones. You'll see how I cut off the piece. You can check the other video, but you can see how much I cut off. Nobody can get hung up anymore. No hummingbirds, no Orioles. The reason I like the larger feeder now for $2 is for $2 extra, you get a ant moat. It's not the biggest ant moat in the world, and I do make my own ant moats out of different bottles, but it will work. But you need to cut this off. I've seen some of them slipping on it. They slide all the way around because they're used to it, and they're kind of falling off a little bit, the Orioles, like, whoa, a piece is gone. But that's all right. I'd rather have a piece gone off of my hummingbird feeder and know they're 100% safe than get hung up in there. Even if they can get themselves out, you've got some that cannot. Now, the one from Walmart, this feeder, has no flaws that I can find at all. So if you're buying that for $6, you're good to go. All you have to do is wash it up really good. And though those are 32 ounces and they do have 16 ounces, you don't have to fill them. You can put just a small amount in. And now I'm putting out my new one that I've already fixed with the ant moat. So if the ants start marching and they find my feeder, all I have to do is fill the top with water. And then I'm good to go. Not going to have any more ants in there. And of course, like I said, you can make a larger ant moat if you want. So please check your feeders. And if you're debating on which type of hummingbird feeder to get, I'm kind of leaning towards the one that's $6 over $4 from Walmart just because of the ant moat. But if you don't care about an ant moat, go ahead and get the $4 one. And it will work fine because that one is completely safe too. If you've got any of the other styles that First Nature makes, be sure to cut that off. Once that little piece is cut off, there won't be any more hummingbirds or Orioles or anything getting hung up, because let me tell you something, the Orioles love their nectar and they're going to shush away the hummingbirds when they come, as you can see here, and they're going to come feed. And that's okay. We welcome everybody. I don't welcome the bees that much. I give them their own tray to feed out of, because if a bee stings a hummingbird, no, there's no more hummingbird. And some bees have been known to sting them. I have read that online, the research I've done. So I try to keep the bees away from the hummingbirds. But as far as the Orioles, it's very hard to separate them. I do have a feeder in a designated area for Orioles, but you know, they don't read. No, I don't. I'm just kind of kidding. But I do have them situated in different places where I know where the Orioles like to come in. And as you can see here, we've got multiple babies moving around because they are going to start migrating soon. And the adults may be already heading down south. But these are kind of hanging around longer, and they get themselves into all kinds of trouble. Oh my goodness, I've seen the baby Orioles get stuck in a planter. They just crawl around into everything, and that's why we have to try to keep them safe the best we can do. So I hope this gave you some tips on which feeder is good. And like I said, the Walmart feeder is perfect, but if you need the holes bigger, because some hummingbirds, I don't know why, will not feed out of the slits. They don't like the feel of their beak touching the plastic, then just make the holes bigger, and then it is just as good as the one with the large holes. In fact, it's better. If you've got a lot of hummingbirds, you can have double the hummingbirds sitting there, because each section has 2 holes instead of 1. And here, the hummingbirds are all friendly. They sit side by side, and everybody feeds together. The Orioles, 2 and 3 to a feeder. They're not always real happy with each other, but that's okay. They can wait and take their time and take their turn. I'm going to show you one more thing that happened today as I was finishing this video, and it's my fault. I had one feeder that I had forgotten to alter, and I filled it up. It's a 32 ounce. It's the one with the large holes and the flaw. I hung it up, and then I realized, oh no. But I figured I've been using them, so I'll just leave it. Wait till they empty it, since I forgot and it was full. But look at that. He got hung up, and he was hanging upside down, but he managed to slide his foot out of that gap. And here it is, a close-up. I can't believe it. I thought, well, I just filled it. I'll just let him finish it. Takes him only less than 24 hours anyways for such a big feeder. So now I know this is gone. I took it down and it will be fixed. But they are very dangerous for birds. Look at that. He got his foot caught, but this one managed to get it out. This is very scary. So even though those were one of my favorite feeders, I'm going to switch over a lot of mine to the Walmart one. That's a $6 one. The other one's $16 to $20 anyways. It's the same feeder, and I know they're completely safe with that one. I'll make the holes bigger like I showed you. I don't need that one anymore. Please, please check your feeders. And if you've got that gap, cut that piece of plastic off and let's keep our birds safe. So this will be my new go-to, and I think they're fabulous. They last for years. We'll just make the holes bigger if we need to because I deal with Orioles. But this feeder now is completely retiring. Even though there's a little bit of nectar in there, it's time to come off and put a new one up there that has been fixed, like the other one you can see in the background. And Zoe's watching to make sure. Don't leave that out there again, Mama, she said. You know better than that. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. I did contact the company, and we'll see what's going to happen. Bye-bye.